Well, it's a very warm welcome back to another pre-match show here at the Banksy Stadium with the Saddlers in action against Hartlepool United in today's 3 o'clock kickoff. It will be the first home game since Michael Flynn has become head coach, following 2 back-to-back away games against high flyers Swindon Town and table toppers Forest Green Rovers. In today's pre-match show, we are going to be hearing from on-loan winger Tyree Shade as he discusses the influence that Manny Month has had on him since he's been converted into a left wing-back. That role saw him put in a man-of-the-match performance against table toppers Forest Green Rovers in that 1-0 win, so we'll be hearing all about how that has been a brand new experience for him. We're also going to be hearing from head coach Michael Flynn as he discusses what attracted him to sign Lee Tomlin earlier this week. He's also going to be telling us what he's expecting from today's opponents, Hartlepool United. Also in today's pre-match show, we are going to be taking a look back to our last game here at the Banksy Stadium, which was a 1-0 win over Tranmere Rovers. In that game, Connor Wilkinson struck a late penalty, so we'll be taking a look at all of those key highlights from that game. I'm also, as always, going to be joined by my colleague Paul Joannou as we take a look back to Tuesday night's heavy defeat against Swindon Town and a look back at the Forest Green Rovers game that was a brilliant win for us. First up, we are going to take a look back at those Tranmere Rovers highlights. So those were the key moments from that win over Tranmere Rovers last time out. Next up, we are going to be hearing from winger Tyree Shade as he discusses the influence that Manny Month has had on him since reverting into a left wing-back role. And for yourself in the 2 games since the new head coach has come in, we've seen you in a different role of a left wing-back. You even played left-back out and out on Tuesday night against Swindon. Yeah. What's that been like for you?
It's been a weird change for me, obviously, because I've always played winger. I'm out and out winger, sometimes, as a 9, but I've enjoyed it so far. I've liked it. I mean, it's not a drastic change, because I still have that freedom to go and get forward, but now it's a bit different, whereas I got to, be more defensive kind of, so I've always got to, speak to Manny, speak to the defence to make sure, I'm not bombing on and getting, losing my head and just making sure I'm always in the right positions. But I've enjoyed it, to be fair. But
it's clearly a position that you're working hard on. You're now showing that adaptability to your game.
Yeah, definitely. That is it about. That's with football. You won't always be specifically in the same position, and I'm growing. I'm trying and learning new things. So this is a good for my experience playing in several positions. So I'm just taking it game by game and hopefully improve.
And you mentioned Manny there. What's it been like having him, an experienced centre half, albeit, I think he's 26 or 27, but he's still there to talk you through that new experience for you, isn't it?
Oh no, it's definitely it's great having Manny next to me. He's an experienced defender, been in this league and with numerous several teams. But he's been a big miss as well with him. I do feel safe, because he's great. He's good pace, powerful. He talks. So I do have that sense of security always playing, and it makes it better that because I'm in a new position, I've always got him next to me, talking me and coaching me through the game.
That was Tyree Shade talking us through his experience of being a left wing back, something that he openly admitted that he has never done before during his time at parent club Leicester City. Next up, we are going to be hearing from the head coach Michael Flynn as he talks us through what attracted him to sign Lee Tomlin and what he's expecting from today's opponents. We've seen one person leave this week in Alfie Bates, but there's news of a possible incoming. I believe Lee Tomlin is now, ready to join the group. What's it been like for you? I think you've had him in for the week, seen a little bit about him. What was it that attracted you to bring him to the club?
Listen, Lee, first of all, his location. He don't want to move away. Just had a young baby, a new baby. They're all young. A new baby, so it ticked a lot of boxes. And when somebody of his quality becomes available, and you manage to get him, then I'm over the moon, because Lee can unlock any defence in this league. He scores goals and he creates goals, so he gives us that. Well, he improves us going forward, no doubt.
Yeah, there's all that cliche about form is temporary, class is permanent. Having not played for, a number of months, I think it's about 18 since his last competitive game, he's still got that, top quality edge, hasn't he?
Yeah, of course he has. And like I said, he's been training with us. He's been training with Wrexham. He's had a couple of sessions with Northampton as well. So, although his match fitness might not be there at the minute, he's definitely sharp and he's ready to go.
Somebody who we haven't seen involved in the last two matchday squads, I think, was Reece Devine, and we've also not seen Zach Mills. We've got an update on how they're doing.
Yeah, they're both out for a few weeks, and I think Zach is 3 to 4 and Reece is around about 4 to 5 weeks out. So disappointing, because you want everybody fit and ready to go for us to finish the season on a high. But it's part and parcel of the game. Injuries and. We just hope they're back sooner.
Yeah, you've had 2 away games so far. It's your home battle this weekend against Hartlepool. What are you expecting them to bring to the table?
Hartlepool are on a good run of form. They're a good team. They're going to, for anybody expecting us just to roll over Hartlepool, then they're going to be mistaken. It's going to be after a hard worked, hard fought victory if we do get it. And we've got to be at our best, because we've got lots to improve on from the second half on Tuesday night against the team who are full of confidence.
Yeah, and even though the table seems to have settled down a little bit, I think they're unbeaten in 8, I think it is, in the league. So it is going to be another tough test for your side.
Yeah, of course it is. Like I said, they're in good form. The new manager, Graham's come in and changed the formation slightly, and he's got them going. So it's going to be a difficult afternoon, but I'm sure that if we do what we're asking them to do and play to the best of our abilities, we're more than capable of getting the 3 points.
So those were the thoughts of head coach Michael Flynn about this afternoon's game against Hartlepool United. I'm now joined by Paul. It's been a pretty busy week, let's just say that. We'll start off with last weekend's game against Forest Green Rovers. What a terrific win that was for the group.
Feels like longer than a week ago, that does, Tom, but yeah, what a result. Forest Green were only 19 league games unbeaten, and up put the Saddlers to put an end to that with it was only a narrow 1-0 victory when you look at the scoreline, but it felt like a really comprehensive one for the Saddlers. I thought, apart from possibly the first 4 minutes, I thought Walsall were in complete control, Walsall looked comfortable, and every man, to a man, did their job superbly and really stopped Forest Green doing what they wanted to do and really frustrated them, and could have had another goal or two themselves, but didn't really look in too much danger in the afternoon. So credit to Michael Flynn, credit to the players. I think I heard Michael Flynn say most of the players, their running stats were through the roof compared to all season in that game, and it was a terrific result, a terrific afternoon, and what a start for Michael Flynn.
Yeah, some would say that's typical Walsall. You know, they lose to bottom of the league one week, then go and beat first and second in the league, and then a complete contrast to that performance. You go into Tuesday night's game against Swindon Town, who showed you that when you aren't on top of your game, you're going to get punished, and they certainly punished Michael Flynn's side.
They did. It was particularly that second half where I think Walsall came unstuck. Thought at times Swindon shell-shocked Walsall a little bit. They were brilliant going forward. I have to admit, Swindon, you know, they were very impressive, particularly that front three with Barry, McCurdy and Josh Davis and the striker. You know, their movement really caused Walsall a lot of problems, and it proved to be costly. Yes, there were mistakes. I think Michael Flynn admitted that the team did make mistakes, and he said on Saturday the reason why Walsall got that result against Forest Green because they didn't make mistakes. So it just goes to show, as soon as you make one or two errors, you can really get punished. And you know, it's fine margins when you put it like that, but the difference in results, you know, is massive, and that was shown on Tuesday night. You know, I think the first 20 minutes Walsall more than matched Swindon. Actually, it was a competitive game. I saw some comments from Swindon fans saying they were actually quite impressed with what they saw from Walsall in the first 20 minutes. But you know, Swindon's quality came through. That's why they are where they are. And you know, I think an element when you hear that the players have really given so much in that Forest Green game, perhaps maybe the game on Tuesday came a little too early for them, but they've had a few days now back on the training pitch, a debrief, so hopefully that it's all about putting that right and righting the wrongs from Tuesday in tomorrow's game against Hartlepool.
Yeah, and you know, there's certain things there we talk about that, and you know, something that's often, you know, talked about in this division especially is how important that first goal is, and I think we've seen it on a number of occasions, especially from our perspective as a team. When you get that first goal, you can often go on and get a positive result, but I think from a Saddlers perspective, we're one of maybe 8 or 9 teams across the 92, I think it is, that haven't been able to pick up 3 points when they have gone that first goal down, and I think that's going to be key again today against a Hartlepool United side who are unbeaten in 8 games.
That's it. I think, yes, it can happen that teams, we've seen it all across football where teams go 1 or 2-0 down and do come back and win the game. You know, it happens. However, if you're going to fall behind more often than not, you're going to lose more games than you win. I think it's a matter of fact that, you know, if you're falling behind in the majority of your games, in the majority of those games, you will not win. Yes, it does happen that you can come from behind, but as you say, Tom, the first goal is absolutely vital, and it is very difficult to continue doing that. So I think clean sheets are massive in this division, particularly League 2. You know, set pieces play a massive part as well. So it's all about being organised in those situations. And you know, Hartlepool, I remember the game earlier in the season. You know, they really caused a lot of problems. They were a very, very physical side. They knew their jobs, and I think they did a job on the Saddlers and got a 2-0 victory. However, they've got a different man in charge, and I think they've tweaked their formation a little bit, but they're on a really good run there. I think they're 8 unbeaten in the league. They're in the semi-final of the Papa John's Trophy. They had a great run to the 4th round of the FA Cup, so they're full of confidence. They're in the top half, and you know they've seemed to have been on that upward trajectory from last season and then coming into this season.
Yeah, and they've got a couple of standout players. You know, that I think the likes of Omar Bogle is quite an eye-catching name, especially at this division. Luke Molyneux, somebody who we should be looking out for as well. So you mentioned that word confidence there. They'll be full of that coming into the game this afternoon. Yeah,
it looks like they've got some decent attacking players, haven't they, Tom? You mentioned Molyneux there. I think he's their top scorer with 8 goals. Omar Bogle's come in. We know what sort of level he's played at in his career. I think they got Bryn Morris as well, was it, as well? I think he's played at Shrewsbury. I think he had a loan spell here as well in League One. So they've added a bit of calibre as well, a bit of a EFL experience. So, you know, it's going to be a tricky test. You know, we're under no illusions about that, but I think the Saddlers have proven they can overcome difficult challenges. You know, as you said earlier, typical Walsall sometimes with the defeat to bottom of the table and then beating the top 2. So I think it's just about finding that consistency. It's the word we've used so much this season, but it's the truth of the matter.
Yeah, and we talk about eye-catching names in regards to Omar Bogle. One that Saddlers fans will be well aware of, who's coming to the club this week, Lee Tomlin. I think when we found out about that ourselves, it was like, wow, he's, you know, that type of name, we've been able to attract that type of name, and having somebody like Michael Flynn who's got those, you know, connections, and you know, he's well known around the footballing world, you know, to be able to bring somebody like him, if he can recapture any sort of form that he was able to find, you know, with Cardiff, Higher Division, Bournemouth, Peterborough as well, if you can recapture that here in the final 15 or 16 games of the season, I think it is could be a really good signing for us.
Absolutely, he's got plenty of experience, hasn't he? And he's won promotions from League One. He's had an impact in the Championship. I think only 2 seasons ago he scored 9 goals and got 10 assists for Cardiff City. So I think it might not be just goals he brings. He might be able to be a good link between the likes of Wilkinson and Miller just behind, perhaps, as well. So he's going to bring a lot to the team, I feel. And his experience will help the younger forwards, and also he's got an eye for goal. I'm told he's got a good shot on him as well. So I'm excited to see what he can bring to the team, and I think it might give the rest of the players a lift that they've got another body in the door, someone else to help them through this final 14, 15 games that we've got left of the season.
Yeah, and with Lee coming in, it's actually, we've seen one departure in Alfie Bates. We'd like to wish Alfie all the best in his new adventure over in Finland. It looks like it's going to be a cold one for him over there. The weather is, bitterly out there, plenty of snow for him. But if you're heading to the game today, we'd like to wish you a safe journey to the game. And if you are inside the stadium, as always, we'd like to continue to keep supporting the lads and make plenty of noise for Michael Flynn on his home league debut. As always, we'd like to thank you for tuning into today's pre-match show, and come on you Saddlers.